The next book I'm going to review today is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. And I had that on my Kindle clearly, and I gave that also a 3 out of 5 stars. I originally gave it a 4-star review, but after I had gone through making my list of bullet points of things that I liked and disliked, I realized how many negative things I had to say about An Ember in the Ashes, and so I downgraded it from 4 to 3 stars. Alright, so when I read a book, I try to write notes in my phone as I go, especially when I'm reading it on my Kindle app. I try to make notes as I go, especially when I have a strong reaction for something. So I'm going to just kind of go through those bullet points of my first initial reactions, and then I'll go into the thoughts I had, several weeks after I read the book and had time to digest the story. So the first thing I write is, already have a few grammatical issues that bug me. I don't enjoy the writing yet, make it better. So from what I remember, it was just like little stupid things like I don't know, just word placement, or it wasn't like a spelling issue, but it's just kind of like the way words were placed I didn't really care for, and I didn't really enjoy her writing style. And this was maybe 3 pages into it, so it wasn't really, that was not fair to the author at all. It was just my first initial reaction based off of a couple pages of reading it, and whatever. Obviously I kept reading it and finished it. And then the other initial note I had here was, I don't know why it bothers me so much when the title of the book is used as a line in the book, but it makes me gag. And then you do it twice, bah! So yeah, at some point in the book, the guy, and I can't remember his name, he's the guy that can read, he's one of the big guys who can read the minds, and he's going to Elias, and he tells him, he's like, you're an ember in the ashes. I don't know why, but it makes me cringe when the title of the book is used as a line in the book. It's just ugh, wow, ugh. It's just like a, ugh. I hate that. I hate it so much. It's like when you see in a movie too, the title of the movie is said somewhere in the movie. Ugh! Come on, just, ugh. I don't know why I have such a reaction to that. It just drives me bonkers. So now I'm going to get into more of the meat of my review. If you have not read this book yet, I was going over my notes and I discovered that there's going to be some spoilers in here. So I'll leave it by saying that I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed the story, and I disliked Leia. So that is all you really need to know. But at this point, I would just turn it off so that you don't get any spoilers. So I'm going to give you a 3, 2, 1, see you later. And now I'm going to actually talk about what I did enjoy. So I felt much more strongly toward Elias than I did for Leia, as I said a moment ago. I enjoyed the trials, I enjoyed his background, where he came from and all that. And I felt that the relationship between he and Helene was more believable. They grew up together. She's the only girl in this situation. He was probably one of the few people that were ever kind to her. That sentence makes sense? Whatever. But he means something to her. They both mean something to each other. And he, kind of has feelings for her as well, but he doesn't want to act on them because he sees her more of a sister, and she sees him more of a romantic, relationship guy. But anyway, that relationship made more sense to me. What didn't make sense to me was how everybody falls for Leia. So Keenan, I think is his name, and Elias both, they see her immediately and they like her. None of them had known her for more than 3 seconds, and they automatically loved this girl. Now, she admits to being weak. She says in the beginning that she is in fact weak. She's not as strong as the rest of her family. So what makes this girl so appealing? Is it just because she's pretty? I am so sick and tired of every main character guy, or guy in general that she comes in contact with, finding her so wonderful because she's pretty. Is that it? That's ridiculous. There has to be more substance to that. Yes, a guy is obviously going to initially be attracted to somebody, but there has to be more substance to feelings than she's hot. Okay, she's fighting for her brother. Okay, so that's something, yes, and so she's, she has no other choice but to fight for her brother, but she's not doing it out of, some type of, scholar loyalty. She's doing it because she doesn't want to be alone in the world. I would fight for my brother too. I'm not saying that, but that's the only reason she's doing it. It's not because she feels some type of urge to stick up for her community, her history, whatever, but she's just doing it because she doesn't want to be alone. Okay. I don't know, I just had a really difficult time believing that anybody would fall for Leia, especially 2 guys who were supposed to be very strong. And I know Elias is supposed to be a little bit more of a soft-hearted person, so, he's not necessarily gonna go try hurting her or something like that, but I feel like if he's gonna be the kind of person that would feel that way, he would want to get to know somebody. Just the way that I felt I knew Elias, he seemed like the kind of person that wouldn't just go based off of your looks. Does that make sense? Whatever. Anyway, so yeah, so I didn't really care for Leia. I could have skipped over her chapters and been perfectly happy. But yeah, and then, so Leia in general, you know, love triangle aside, or love square technically, because if you throw Helene in there, but so that story aside, Leia in general I couldn't stand. So we're already jumping into the story knowing she's weak. I mean, she grew up in a family of fighters, but she is the one kind of black sheep where she's weak and timid and whatever, okay? But she's put into this situation because she wants to save her only existing brother. Whatever. And I would be perfectly okay with that. I felt bad for her, you know, that her family was all gone and it was a sad story. But it didn't make any sense that she survived the commandant. I mean, she's thrown into this story or into this situation where several other people have been killed within weeks of going to this commandant, and she has has a whipping, and then she's burned. She has like a mark, I guess, on her chest. I think is what happens. They burn her, like brand her, which is not good, but that's all that happens to her. I'm sorry, this commandant is either weaker than we're trying to be, you know, she's trying to be portrayed, or I'm sorry, she wouldn't have survived. This weak, timid little girl would not have survived the commandant that we're supposed to believe is so terrible. There's no way. There's no way. But she manages to survive? How? How is that even possible? There's no way. I don't know, maybe the commandant is not as bad as we're supposed to be, or we're supposed to believe. I mean, she is a turd, don't get me wrong, she's a huge turd, but she's not that bad. I mean, the other girl lost an eye. Nothing that bad happened to this girl, and she was suspicious from her from the beginning. I mean, if she, okay, whatever. I guess they're trying to, I don't know, maybe she was trying to like keep her alive so that she could follow her moves or something. I don't know, whatever. We'll accept that as the reasoning behind that. But yeah, so that's my somewhat ranty review of An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. Again, I will continue on with the rest. I really did enjoy the story, and she left you on a pretty big cliffhanger. I really hope that Elias and Leia don't get together. I do not like them together. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And maybe it's because I like Elias and I hate Leia, but I don't know. I really hope they just become like two people who are on the same path and just help each other out and then go their separate ways. I don't know, we'll see. Alright, so those are my two reviews. Let me know down below if you have read either of these books and you agree with me or disagree with me, or you just think I'm a moron, which I would probably agree with you because I sound like a babbling lunatic. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I will see you later, BookTube.